If you've been planning that new YouTube channel, that new app you're building, that business idea, you need to start it today. I don't care if you aren't really sure what you're doing. Because if this is you, you're probably falling into the biggest trap that ambitious people make. You spend weeks planning, researching, organizing, imagining. But all of this is just a waste of your time. Because deep down, you already know you're avoiding the most uncomfortable and difficult part, which is actually just starting. Because we both know the idea you have, even if it's not good or fully developed yet, is something meaningful. You actually want to do it. But starting it also feels scary and like you're committing to something serious. So you plan instead because it feels productive, while also keeping your ego and attention safeguarded. When you're planning, your idea still feels perfect in your head. You can't fail yet because you haven't tried. And when you decide to start, reality does its thing and tells you that your idea needs work, that it isn't perfect and that you probably suck at it. The video will flop. The app might not work. The business might not make sense. The work might not match what you wanted. And that's what perfectionism actually is. It's not about having high standards, but about protecting yourself from expanding past your limits. Because as long as this idea stays in your head, away from the world, you never have to confront the possibility that you probably won't succeed initially. It's really easy to just build this perfect imaginary version of your idea in your head, or on a Google Doc, while letting your real life attempts go to zero. And this isn't really our fault. The media, especially TV and movies, conditioned us to think this way. Think about the meathead kind of guy that recklessly charges headfirst into asking the hottest girl out, but gets rejected or something like that. Usually, he's just portrayed as a failure and a loser, and the brash, mindless guy. Whereas the guy who thinks things through does a whole lot better. I'm definitely not saying go extreme and forget to bring your brain into anything that you do. But I think a lot of us need to move away from these overly pragmatic and rational versions of ourselves to just take a chance and fail. Because if you're too pragmatic, you experience paralysis by analysis. And that's the reason you spend years thinking about creating, years talking about ideas, and years getting ready, which both of us know is just you lying to yourself to stop yourself from failing. But sometimes planning is legitimately what you need to do, considering that planning means you can understand what you're doing better. So the way I like to tell if I'm planning correctly, or if I'm just procrastinating, is by asking myself, do I know enough to take the first step? Sometimes, if you don't actually know what it is that you have to do, then you physically can't do anything. But 99% of the time, you know enough. So if you want to start a YouTube channel, your first step is physically going on YouTube and creating a channel. Then, after that, you record a video, edit it, then post it. Then you do that same recording, editing, posting process 1,000 times until you're really good at making videos. Usually we already know what we have to do, we just won't do it. But if you didn't somehow know how to turn on a computer or what YouTube was, then maybe that could make starting a YouTube channel difficult. I think though, if you're capable of watching this video, you probably have the ability to do it. And this really reminds me of my favorite quote from Alex Hormozi. He always says, if you're willing to suck at anything for 100 days in a row, you can beat most people at most things. And it's true. Most people won't even try to take the first step, let alone all the other ones. And if that's you, what needs to change is your willingness to potentially fail. Fail 100 times, fail 1,000 times, fail 1,000,000 times. Because an imperfect action or step towards your goal tells you where you are and where you need to go next. And honestly, most people don't fail because their first attempt was bad, but because they never let themselves have a first attempt at all. So if there's something you genuinely care about, stop waiting to feel ready. I promise you that you never will. Let me know when you're 75 and you regret not starting. Because the people you admire probably weren't ready either. They were just okay with being bad at something before being good at it. Okay, I hope that resonated with you. Give this video a like if you think it deserves one, and thanks for watching. That was Justin, signing off.